What's up, guys? Bruce Gamers here, coming at you with another deck profile, aka Caveman Beats. This shit does not look square. Whatever, we're already rolling. Got anything to say, Kane?
Yeah.
Is this reminiscent of? I always say in every video I'm always like, got anything to say, and then you say like 2 words, and I'm like, yeah. And this is really reminiscent of like 2005, right?
Yes. I don't remember exactly what video it
Warrock.
Warrock, yeah. Definitely. Kind of like that old school, like I summon my
You might have to get a little bit
Magician.
closer. Might
I
not pick.
summon my Dark Magician, and with no monsters left on the field, I declare direct attack.
Yeah, that's
I
essentially.
told you I was the master type shit.
That's essentially how it is. They're probably always like,
Did you think you could win only if I lose? Just let Destiny choose.
just let Destiny choose. I guess I'm gonna go ahead and get in it. Go ahead and get into it. So Caveman Beats, gotta have the best caveman. Warrock Meteoragon. He can attack twice. It's pretty much where his best effects end. Also cannot be destroyed by card effects. Funny side note, if Zombie World's on the field, you just auto lose with this deck. But you know, that's super situational. One Rock
If you
Basculus.
haven't seen our Warrock versus zombie build or my Akashi, go and check that out.
Yeah, I feel super bad for this deck because it's super bad. It only does impactful shit in the battle phase. And then the only problem is it's not 2006 anymore. So, you know, you kind of get your back walls blown out before the battle phase even starts. If you're trying to do stuff in the battle phase, it's kind of like too late. So I kind of like mitigate like those problems by I pivoted into a super control like build because a lot of people have been like going towards the OTK style, which you're probably wondering like what the fuck, like y'all are the OTK dudes. Not this time, pal.
You're not that guy.
No, we're not those guys. So triple Gactos, this is like the best extender in the deck. People are using this in Goki because it's literally when a normal summon like Earth Warrior, it just kind of splashes out on the field. So he's by far the best one. Warrock Winto. I wish I could say in the match against the zombies, she would have been, you know, the thing that took it over the top. But she doesn't really do much. All she does is kind of like boost your monsters, and then also, if it's sent from the monster zone to the graveyard by an opponent's card effect, which is almost never going to happen, you can special one level 5 or higher Warrock monster from your deck, from your hand or deck, which is kind of cool. But I mean,
I like the idea that they're like, she's at 1800. People are gonna have no choice but to send her to
yeah,
the graveyard
yeah.
with the card back.
I mean, I guess the cool thing is you can pump her up by 800, and then you kind of have to solve that problem, but I don't know.
It's just like,
Or they could just Boral Sword over you.
Dude King just like punches her in the face.
Yeah. Warrock Fortia. Just because these are like by far the best ones, and you have to see one of them. This plus Gactos or the other one plus Gactos is kind of like optimal with like a bunch of traps. And this one basically when your Earth Warrior monster battles, so like I said, Zombie Road up on the field, these cards like just are kind of bad. You can add one Warrock card from your deck to your hand. Most of the time you're adding the Mountain or you're adding Dignity, the monster negate.
Yes.
Next up for your big beaters, they're about as dumb as their effects are. Pretty trash. Only these two can be normal summon if you control no monsters or just warrior monsters. But this one like destroys a spell trap when Earth Warrior battles. This one you can send one Earth Warrior from your deck to the graveyard when it battles, and then they gain 200. And this one you can special summon a level 5 or lower. Yeah, level 5 or little warrior. But those little ones can't attack directly. So you see why they're not that great. See why they're not that great. But we're not that great, but we're getting there. That's it for the Warrocks. Triple Gamma Seal. Like I said, we're not going second in this build, but as you know, I never win the die roll. So just in case, you have to have like outs to like just really shitty tower cards, and give himself the best one because he's also the smallest. Triple Mountain, this deck like kind of lives and dies by it. It's just really good. So you just add a Warrock monster from your deck. During the battle phase, when your Earth Warriors are attacking, you can special summon one from your hand. Which no restriction on that, except it's the shitty battle phase. So like there was times, if you go back and look at the match, I'd be like, oh yeah, like fuck, I'm gonna swing in for heavy damage, and you know, or I would have a big Warrock card in my hand at the start of the turn, but it's just, you need something, an attacker on the field with it, which kind of sucks. But it should have just said like special summon one warrior from your hand, not during the battle phase. It just makes it super weird. But
yeah, battle phase interactions are always kind of iffy.
Yeah, it's super tricky.
And sometimes they work.
Yeah, and it battle fades. So I mean, it's fine. Like, if your card would be destroyed by battle, you can just send it. One terraforming, because even though the field spell isn't that great, it's the best thing you really got going on in the deck besides Warlock Dignity. It's just Monster Negate, which is pretty much the best effect of this card. The second effect is during the battle phase, you can negate a spell or trap card, which no one uses like battle spell traps anymore. So that's super shitty, but whatever. Gotta do what you gotta do. Double Book of Moon, just cause it's pretty good defensively. 2 extra. I was running 3, but
No, the only question I have is like, instead of Pot of Extravagance, why don't you use Pot of Greed?
Cause you got kicked out of Corner Magic for doing that. Yeah, so for the 1-ofs, power 1-ofs, 1 Rhoda, 1 Monster Reborn. Just the best ones for the deck.
Instead of Monster Reborn, have you thought about putting a Nightmare Mermaid in its place?
I did, and we got kicked out of Corner Magic for that. Alright, so next up, heavy trap package. No one's really doing this. And that's probably because everybody else is good. But this is good. Trust me. Triple Strike. 6 of the most impactful trap cards in the game. 6 of the most impactful trap cards ever printed. Probably 6 of the best trap cards ever printed. And we're gonna follow that up with 3 Infinite Imperm. Best hand trap. Not the best hand trap right now. Probably could do Ash. I don't know. I just like the trap lineup more.
Probably really could have put like Trap Hole in here.
Sure. Or you could do Effect Veiler. You could do Ash. You could do Ghost. I just like it like this. Cause Well-Timed Imperm or Effect Veiler just kind of ends the turn.
You threw like a Macra in here.
Ooh, damn. Also, this card's good on the draw. So if you do go second, you draw it. They got something stupid on the field like not Imperm, Apo. You just Imperm the Apo. Keep it moving just in the game, because this deck still ends games pretty quick. But the kind of like the idea behind this deck is like you set up turn 1 with a bunch of negates in trap card form, and then you kind of swing for game on the crackback, because it doesn't take much because they all kind of boost each other. Now to get into the silliest extra deck you'll ever see. It's not really in order, but we run Extrav, so it's never going to be in order. For the links, 1 Mrs. Radiant, 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Unicorn, 1 is sold. I don't know why I did that. So a sold's not, you never go into a sold because we don't run but you could pivot in that direction. Next for the XZs, just some funny cards. Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon, Juggernaut Lieb. You're probably wondering how do you go into that. You're probably also wondering how to go into Super Quantum Met King Great Magnus. Or the last big train is Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Super Dora. I go into it using the 27 Dreadnought Dreadnoid. So Dreadnoid super budget. Basically, all you do is at the end of the battle phase, if this card destroyed an opponent's monster or battle, you can special summon from your extra deck 1 rank 10 or higher machine Xyz monster by using this face-up card. Its materials become those materials. So there have been times I've went into this, like crashed over in the battle phase, just overlay my Super Quantum Met King Great Magnus. That's more of a flex though. That's definitely not the best thing to do in this deck. The much better option would probably be Utopia Lightning. Utopia, because this kind of just ends games. The 5,000. You could do double, but I feel like this deck's bad enough to where you shouldn't do that. One Macabre, because I did have Nova in here. You'll see on this video. I don't have Nova right now because we put it back in our Cyber Dragon deck. Spoiler alert, that deck profile is coming soon. One Macabre, because if you punishment, Dogmatic punishment, because I was running that in the side deck, and also triple Entis, because you can dump this off punishment, send one of their cards to the graveyard. Super flexible extra deck though. I just think these are the best ones for this one. But that's pretty much it for this. Remember, if you like the video, as always, like the video. Kind of silly to like the video and not like the video. That's just absurd. Leave a comment what you want to see next. Consider subscribing. And a word from Kane.
Have you ever been guess what has 2 thumbs and has his own Louis shoes? This guy.
We'll see you next time.